evening, welcome to my channel. This is going to be a reading for Aries, Sun, Moon and Rising. It's going to be a general reading. And as such, I don't know until cards hit the table whether it's going to be with a focus on love or finances or career or just general life stuff. So if you're here looking for that, I'm sorry, I can't help you until I've done the reading. I'll try and indicate it in some way in the video title to reflect the nature of the reading. If the message isn't resonating with you, if the circumstances that I'm describing don't really fit, then don't try and make them fit. There are millions and millions of people on this planet, and it would be impossible to resonate with 1/12 of them all at once. My very head would explode. So, you know, if the message isn't for you, just move on. Try again next month. That said, it's worth checking out the videos for your moon and rising signs, because sometimes we resonate with those more strongly than we do with our sun sign, depending on what else is going on in our life. So something to bear in mind. I can be reached for a personal reading at the email address that's in the description box. I'm building a website at the moment, but it's taking some time to get up and running. Once it's live, I'll be able to take bookings directly through there, and that'll be easier for everyone, but for the time being, email is it. I think that's everything. Let's get on with this reading. So I do a bit of shuffling. Some readers do like a week by week forecast of what you can expect. That's not really the sort of reading that I do. I tend to what I have been doing is trying to zero in on a particular situation that might be taking up a lot of your time and mental resources during the month. It seems to be working quite well, so I'm going to stick with that across all the signs. As a result of that, some of these readings have been coming out like eerily specific. So yeah, like I said, you should be able to tell fairly swiftly whether the message is for you or not. Okay, I will do. Right then, Aries. Let's see what we've got for you. It's going to be a 3-card spread with some clarifying cards to put some detail into the situation. We'll see what happens. So we've got a flipper. It's the Page of Cups. I'm not going to take it because it didn't jump out. But it obviously wanted to make itself known, so we're acknowledging it and moving on. Aries. Another flipper. 4 of Pentacles. I kind of feel like if they want to be in the reading, they'll come out again. But it's important to acknowledge the fact that they've at least tried. Right, so that one did come out. And it's the Star. Major Arcana associated with Aquarius. Aries. A flipper, got Judgment. Just flipped there. The 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment. Possibly. Another card for Aries. Bear with me. Ten of Wands. Kind of a card of burden. Something's been feeling like a lot of hard work recently. And conversely, at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. Card of material comfort. Kind of the pinnacle of material comfort. So, like I said, I'm going to get some clarifiers and then we'll start the reading. Let's start here for Aries. The Moon, Major Arcana. It's Cancer, sometimes Pisces. Another card. Aries. Where's the star here for Aries? And the Knight of Swords. And the Nine of Cups. Kind of cat-handed those. Let's see. Put them in. Try again. That's the one we want. Ace of Pentacles. I kind of have half a feeling that that actually came out reversed, but no matter. I'm sure during the course of the reading it will become obvious whether it needs to stay upright or flip. That's the Nine of Cups. And we've got the Queen of Cups. There's quite a lot of water in this reading for a fire sign. And then the Ten of Wands. Oh. It's Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands here for Aries. The Four of Cups, more water energy. And there's the Ten of Wands here for Aries. And the Seven of Cups. Right, so straight off the bat, before I even go into the meanings of the cards, what is really alarmingly obvious from the cards that I've already pulled is that you are absent from this reading. You're absent any kind of archetype which generally indicates Aries, but more than that, you're almost entirely absent from the reading in terms of your element. In fact, the only card that we have here that in any way is fire is the Ten of Wands, which is a card of burden and hard work, like I said, which makes me aware, like, I'm not concerned, but I'm aware at this point that this is the only point in which your fiery energy is manifesting itself. So, literally everything else is water, one card of air, and one card of pentacles. So, this reading is very much to do with your feelings. I think it's to do with feelings, let's put it that way. Whether or not they're yours will remain to be seen, because this is a very watery reading. So the first card we have is the Star. It's really beautiful. The Star is about hope. Fundamentally, it's about hope, and it's about healing, and it's about wish fulfillment to a degree. I've got when you wish upon a star going around in my head. And there's a star right there. That's a bright star for you to follow. It's the only major arcana to appear in the main part of your reading. And already, just from the brief look that I've had at the cards here, the fact that the one card in the main reading that is major arcana is the star of hope and wishing and things, combined with the only card that features your energy at all, which is the Ten of Wands, makes me think that there's something going on here. It's almost like you're completely out of your element, and the only thing that's really keeping you going at this point is hope, blind hope, wishing fervently. But there's no fire to back it up. It's the star. And the star is clarified by the moon. The moon is Cancer, so it's watery energy again. The card is the moon is about deception and illusions and things that are hidden and things that are not as they appear. You get scared as a kid because your wardrobe doors are slightly open, and fairly innocuous pair of trousers that you have hanging on a coat hanger is suddenly an eerie shape in your wardrobe, and it's a monster. You only feel like that because you cannot properly gauge whatever that is, because there isn't sufficient light for you to be able to see. And like both of these cards are by necessity in the dark. Like the moon only really illuminates things when it's dark. It appears in the day, but it can only really illuminate things when it's in the dark. The stars, obviously, they're there all the time. The only time you can see them, the only time you can perceive them, is when it's dark. So while none of these cards really, I would say possibly by one or two, have a generally kind of negative feel about them, the feeling that I'm starting to get from this reading straight away is that that you're feeling a bit lost, that you're looking for a star to follow to kind of get you back to where you're supposed to be, and it's borne out by the fact that you're just not here in this reading at all, you are elsewhere. The moon's not a bad card. The moon talks about our subconscious. It talks about the things that are not immediately obvious, the things that we need to break beneath the surface to start really getting an understanding of. Give me a second, I just realised I've forgotten to turn off my Wi-Fi and data, which means could well end up with the video getting interrupted with loads of notifications and stuff. So this little lobstery crab thing here is issues that live in your subconscious, and they come up out of the deep, and then they get onto dry land, and then they start like nipping at things. And the next card we have is the Knight of Swords. Now, the Suit of Swords is all about it's about intellect, but it's also about truth, and it's about words, and it's about communication. And the Knight is he's the fastest of all the knights that you get in the tarot. look at him, he's very clearly in movement. That horse is not stopping. And it's very bright. Like, when we compare it to the colouring in the moon, you can see, you know, dark, bright, dark, bright. And both of these cards are clarifying the star, and the star, again, is in the dark. I'm feeling compelled to tell you that this is truth. That's what this is. Like, as they lay on the table, they're actually that way around. And the knight is galloping towards the dark. He's galloping towards what is hidden. He's galloping towards the secrets. I feel like he is the truth, or your desire for the truth. Because both of these cards sit underneath the star, which is hope, blind hope, wishing for something very, very hard, because there's a major arcana card like this is a big wishing. Whatever you're wishing for is hidden, it's obscured, it's in the dark, you can't find it, you don't know where it is. And this is what you want. You want bright white light to come in and expose what is hidden beneath. But both of the major arcana are dark, and all you've got is this little knight. And yes, he's truthful, and yes, he's got integrity, and yes, he's pure. Look how bright this card is and how white the horse is. Your intentions are good, but you're fighting a battle that you are ill-equipped to win. Because what this reading would need for you to win is the sun. The sun is the only thing strong enough to counter this darkness. And the sun is not here. The sun is not in your spread. And so the next card we have is the Nine of Cups. And this is yet another card of wishing. It's cups, so it's about emotions, it's about feelings, it's about all that stuff that goes on inside of you. You know, all of that stuff that goes inside of you as well. You know, the subconscious. You can't have light without the dark. You can't have conscious without the subconscious. And the Nine of Cups is about having a lot of cups and having them filled. And that's brilliant, but it's one of the 10. You know, she looks pretty pleased with herself, but it's still one of the 10. And it's often called the wish fulfillment card, and when it comes out with the star, they seem to complement each other in that way. Except that in this one, I have my intuition tells me that this is slightly desperate. It has a slightly desperate feel to it. Whereas this one is quite, I don't know, it's quite blithe. Look at the expression on her face. I don't know if you can see it, but she looks quite serene. She looks quite content. But there is something missing. Otherwise it'd be the 10. And the something missing is the anyone to share the cups with. Like, she's amassed all of these cups, and they're valuable, and they probably took a lot of hard work and such to pull together. But nevertheless, she is sat there by herself. Not only is she sat there by herself, but she's like, she looks dressed for a wedding. Another look, like she's got a veil and, you know, kind of drifting off into the trees there. You know, the bee at the bottom indicates that, you know, work has gone into this. There's a certain amount of fulfillment that's been achieved by working hard and earning the cups, all of the cups, but she's alone. It's clarified by the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is Earth energy. Obviously, it's the only Earth energy card that you pulled. But this chap here, he's sat on his bench and he's taking the time to become a master at what he does. It takes skill, it takes precision, it takes a lot of practice to create something precious and bespoke and handmade. And he's obviously, you know, he's sat there and he's quite happy. He's just chipping away at all of these things. And you feel like the 8, you know, and then comes the 9. So, you know, the B is correct. You spent a lot of time creating the circumstances in which you currently reside, and whether that's materially, which it may well be, because, you know, a card of the material, which is the 8 of Pentacles here, or whether that's your emotional circumstances, you know, the support network that you've got yourself surrounded by, you know, any kind of work you've done on yourself to iron out all those, you know, niggles that we have about self-esteem and being enough and all of these kind of things. But it's still one short. And then we have the Queen of Cups. She's, you know, the queen of the water. She's the queen of the emotions. She's the queen of feeling and sensing. Another Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio card. She's very nurturing. She's quite psychic. And she's kind of half in, half out. I mean, this woman is, you know, the archetypal kind of dreamy lady. But she's not your queen. Your queen is the Queen of Wands. Your element is fire. So why are you sat surrounded by cups? Why is this queen coming out to represent you? She's nurturing and she's loving and she makes a wonderful mother. But she's kind of preoccupied, certainly in this card, with this kind of awful trash cup thing there that she's got. Like, I mean, no shade, it's just not something I would have in my house. You know, she appears almost bewitched by it, and it is just fucking awful. It looks like it's got lobster claws or something. You've put a lot of effort into where you are, in all senses. And you're quite pleased with where you are, but there's something missing. And feel like you're becoming quite preoccupied with one idea of one thing that is missing. The one thing that would make your 9 of Cups into a 10 of Cups. And like, you'll have to fill in the gaps because I don't know what that is. But this woman has no eyes. She has no eyes for anything else. She's just staring at the cup. Can you see how fucking awful that cup is, man? Like, ew. I don't think I've ever felt quite so aggrieved at the sight of something as I do to that cup right now, reading for you. I've looked at this cup thousands of times and I've never been quite so bothered by it as I am right now. So, to recap, we have you sat in a position where you are content, at least outwardly. You've got a lot of cups, you've put in a lot of work, but you're becoming quite preoccupied by an idea of what it is that you're missing from your life, what you need to complete it to bring it up to the 10. And you're wishing. Both of these cards are about wishing. Wishing really, really hard. This card's often called wish fulfillment, but we know that that's not quite right because it's not a 10. So you're a cup missing. And the cup that you're missing, you're wishing for here. Really hard. But there are things that are hidden from you, things that you don't yet know, there are things that you don't yet understand, there are things that are yet to come to light. And you're aware that they exist, because otherwise you wouldn't be wanting to send your white charger in to go and drop a truth bomb everywhere to illuminate the darkness that you're in. Take it as it resonates. Because I'm just telling you what I see here. The details are for you. And frankly, like, I'm still just really fucking bothered that you're not here in your own reading in some way, at least. Like that in, like, take all the cards' meanings away. That's the thing that disconcerts me the most about this reading, because Aries is strong fire energy. When Aries in the room, you should fucking know, because Aries controls the shit out of everything. You know, it's why your major archetype is the Emperor, the literal fucking Emperor. And then where are you? You're not here. Your fire's being put out by all this water that you're surrounded by. I don't think, as a fellow fire sign, that is a terribly good situation for you to be in. But that's just my 2 pennies worth. So the final card you've got is the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is about burden. It is about something being too hard. And at some point, it must have seemed like a good idea, because nobody goes, oh God, that's impossible. That's so hard. I'm going to do that. Like, well, very few people do. Some people do, but yeah. At some point, when they were looking at it, the benefit gained by picking up all of these ones and carrying them fucking miles home was significantly larger than the cost incurred to the person who was carrying them. But somewhere along the line, that balance has shifted. And now it's too much. It's actually hurting you. And it's draining the very fucking life force out of you. I don't know where that's come from, but I just need to, you know, because there's hard work and then there's actually literally, you know, bleeding you dry. And that's the feeling that I'm getting from this card. Like, the only point in which you appear in any sense whatsoever is in a card that suggests that you are being bled dry. Where's your fire gone? It's been put out, like you've been bled dry of your fire as well. The next clarifier we've got is the Four of Cups. Again, water. It's the second time I've pulled this card today for a reading, and it's the second time, probably the whole time that I've been reading tarot, that I don't go with my standard interpretation of this card. This feels like rejection. but because it's combined with the Ten of Wands, like, this isn't a one-off thing. You are being constantly rejected. And here you are, completely outside of your element, being the queen with the cup that she's obsessed with. And you're trying to give that cup to someone, you're trying to give your emotions to someone, and that someone is sulking. That someone doesn't fucking want it. Can you see? Like, this is a gift from the divine. This cup, it's the Ace of Cups. It's the infinite potentiality of love. And there are 3 cups there already at the bottom. You see them? And he doesn't want those either. He certainly doesn't want this fucking cup. This one cup. Aries, is that what's missing from your 10? Do you need him to come and sit with his cup in with your 9? Yeah. And the final clarifier is another fucking cup card. The 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands, what am I talking about? 7 of fucking cups, look at that. I'd have been happier if I'd seen fucking 7 of Wands in your reading. Honestly, I'm so unhappy for you right now. You're a smouldering ruin right here. It's not fair. So, now you have 2 cards, 2 watery cards of illusion and deception. I'm hearing all that glitters is not gold. I'm not sure that you feel like that, because you're still hankering after that 1 cup, and that 1 cup that is all that you would need to complete your collection is being rejected by the one person that you want to come and complete. And the colour's the same, look. There's all sorts of things in those cups, and all of them are nice. So there isn't a single thing in any of those 7 cups that could even slightly symbolise love. You've got wisdom and jewels and victory and a snake and a dragony thing and all those sorts of things, but there's no love there. This is utterly heartbreaking. This is utterly heartbreaking. You've turned yourself inside out for this person. You've removed yourself entirely from your element to try and get this person to take your cup. And it doesn't matter how hard you've worked at it. It doesn't matter how much you've loved. It doesn't matter how much you've put yourself out. And how heavy the burden is for you. This person is still not taking that fucking cup. And you want to know why? Because you sense deep down that there is a reason for it. You just don't know what it is. You know enough to know that this isn't just because you're not good enough at whatever. There's a very concrete reason why your cup isn't good enough. And you want to know the truth. And as yet, the truth has been not forthcoming. And yet, you're still blindly hoping. It's utterly heartbreaking. And the only good thing that I see about this is that the Ten of Wands is the end. You know, it doesn't go any higher than that. At some point you're going to have to put this burden down. You've already completely removed yourself from your natural state. You know, and Aries, why the fuck would you do that? Don't have someone love you for what you're not. You find someone who will love you for who you are. And if you can't find someone to love you for who you are, then you love yourself for who you are. I'm genuinely wounded on your behalf. Heart is aching. Let's get some advice. Oh, I wanted to fly out. Four of Swords. Step back. Take a break. Go on a break. You needed a bit of time to assess what it is that you want, what it is that you need, and why it is that you are not receiving those things, and, may I add, whether you intend to continue with this painful situation, or whether in fact you do believe that it's time to stop, to put the burden down. Yeah. Okay. You need some rest. You need some rest from this situation. You need to withdraw. You need to retreat. You need to take some time. You need some space to assess the situation logically. Because these are swords, right? Logic, truth, integrity, intellect. You've done feeling, right? This entire fucking spread is dominated by feelings. It's time to employ logic. It's time to sit down and think about what advice you would give a friend if a friend came to you with your situation and plonked it down in front of you and said, I don't know what to do, because I kind of think that you would look at your friend and say, how the fuck can you even consider staying in this situation? Why, like, yeah, okay, why are you making excuses? You are making excuses. This cost you too much already. This is all you've got left of you. All. Like, everything else has been put out. Like, don't make excuses. Don't let that get put out as well. So one more card for advice. I think that advice was pretty good actually, but more card. Five of Wands. Five of Wands reversed. Don't get drawn into arguments. The Five of Wands is petty argument and conflict and sniping and bitching and kind of all that kind of bickery nonsense. Reversed. Don't fucking do it. Don't be drawn into it, because it's what this is going to bring about. You know, it's a 4 going to a 5. You taking the time, asserting your boundaries enough to step back and say, I am stepping back and I need some time to think because I'm not really happy with the way things are going. I need to decide if this is the right thing for me. It's going to, in whomever you are dealing with. And you know, and this doesn't have to necessarily be a relationship, right? Like a romantic relationship reading. I mean, this could be a parental relationship. Excuse me. You know, either way, it could be the relationship you have with your parents, where nothing you ever do is fucking good enough, and you know, you're like, compared to your golden fucking sibling who literally could shit and they'd frame it and put it on the wall. You know, that kind of thing. Or you know, your own children, where you can't do right whatever you try and do. You're always trying to do the best. You're always being led by love. They always take it the wrong way. Whatever happens, the squabbling and the bickering and the bitching is what's going to result as a result of you asserting some boundaries. Don't, because you're not going to win. You're not going to win an argument with this person. This person's better at arguing than you are. But that's okay, because you don't need to win the argument. You need to get control back, because you are Aries. And you control shit. Pick yourself up. And you control yourself. And you take yourself out of the situation, right? Because that's what a fucking emperor would do. And you are an emperor. You're not a fucking Queen of Cups. You're not all this watery energy here. Even though this is a Wands card, like, this is kind of the better. It's actually better in the reverse for you, I think, than it would be in the right way round. So, let's get an outcome for Aries. Outcome for Aries. Bear with me, none is apparently forthcoming. Outcome for Aries for July. Hanged Man in reverse. The time for being passive, the time for being a passive energy is gone. It's past. It's done. Right? No more. Right there. That's the most fucking passive card in the deck. And the Cups is the most fucking passive suit in the deck. And it doesn't suit you. You're not a passive creature at all. You know, Aries is a very masculine sign, just as Leo is very masculine. And I'm talking about masculine energy. I'm talking about masculine as opposed to the feminine. So the masculine is active, it's dynamic, it's movement, it's action. Passive is the feminine is passive, it's receptive. You know, people come to the Queen. Kings go and conquer, you know, other kingdoms and fight wars and things like that. The Queens stay at home. Have people come to them. You are a masculine sign. And this passivity is done now. Like, it's done. It doesn't suit you. You're washed out. It's time to get your fire back, Aries. And you do it with logic. No more feeling, no more mushy heart stuff. You know, employ your intellect. If you need to, write it down. Just write everything down and then put it away. And then come back to it a day or two later. Look at it with fresh eyes. It might give you just enough distance to be objective about what it is that you're reading. And stop making making excuses for them. Okay. I kind of feel like this was really important. And I'm sorry that this has happened to you. If it's resonated at all and you're comfortable sharing, then please do comment below. Let me know what the crack is. Literally, the point of me being on YouTube is to try and help as many people as I can. And this gets me out to a wider audience than I might necessarily meet IRL. If you're not comfortable, then like just throw me a like or something. Let me know that it resonated with you. Yeah. And best of luck, Aries. I'll see you next month.